Welcome to Sim UK. This review is for Amazon's Echo Dot 2nd generation. Alexa, play Uptown Funk. If you're listening through your speakers and you have a Dot in earshot, you might well be listening to Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars right now. Either way, let's review the Amazon Dot. In 2015, Amazon released the Echo. The Echo came with a built-in speaker which had 360-degree omnidirectional audio. The Echo is a hands-free voice-controlled device that contains the following features: far-field voice recognition. Even in noisy environments or whilst playing music, you will still be heard by the device. It'll answer questions, read you audiobooks, report on the news, the traffic and the weather, provide you with sports scores, edit and maintain calendars, alarms and schedules. It'll control your lights, your switches, your thermostats and more. Alexa updates through the cloud automatically and is continually learning, adding new features and skills. And for this, Amazon were asking £150. Since then, Amazon have released a number of variations on the Echo, one of which is the Amazon Tap, which I believe is only available in the US. The Amazon Tap was battery-powered, so it could go anywhere. It was much cheaper, but lacked voice control. The original Amazon Dot version 1 was introduced in March of 2016 and cost £98. It was only available to you if you already owned an Alexa device, such as a Fire TV. Thankfully, in October 2016, Amazon's second generation of the Dot, which is what I'm going to review today, was released. You can think of the Amazon Dot as a smart speaker and acts as a general assistant for the home. It has almost all of the features I mentioned in the Echo, and it's just £50, a third of the price. So let's go and take a closer look. So there have been a number of changes since the original Dot was released in early 2016. The Dot 2 2nd Gen retains the same puck shape and size, which is equivalent to a stack of digestives or a couple of rice cakes if you're in the UK. It has a glossier finish and is available in black and pearl white, whereas the original was black only. In addition to this, the 2nd Gen Dot has a variation of covers available. It's smaller and lighter, with a diameter of just 1.3 inches and weighing just 163 grams. The volume dial has been replaced with buttons, and I actually prefer this. The Dot 2 has a better speech processor, which, in turn, gives you better voice recognition. There are still 7 internal microphones with far-field voice recognition, and it comes with advanced noise cancellation. In addition to that, the Dot 2 comes with Echo Spatial Perception, or ESP. This means you can have multiple devices in a single room, and only the closest device will respond. I've tested this, and it works well. It has been confirmed by Amazon that the Echo Dot V1 and the Tap will both get this in a later update. The Dot 1 suffered a little with availability. The Dot 2, however, is well stocked and available for purchase direct from the website today. You also don't need a pre-existing Alexa device like you did with the Generation 1. The Dot 2 is almost half the price of the original at just under £50, and there are also multi-buy discount options available. Neither devices are 802.11ac compatible, and neither have a digital output. Other than that, it's looking pretty good. The 2nd generation of the Dot, in my humble opinion, is the best yet. It's both small and discreet. The only real noticeable difference from the Echo is that the omnidirectional speaker has been removed, but this makes it more compact and versatile. And despite its diminutive speaker, I actually prefer this approach. Tests suggest that the ambient noise cancelling microphone is slightly less effective than that of the Echo. In addition, it's also less effective than Amazon's main competitor, Google Home. At the back of the Dot, there is a 3.5mm port and a micro USB power source. The Dot no longer has the 3.5mm cable included. There's no big deal with that, as you can connect via Bluetooth these days. The £50 price tag alone makes this a very shrewd purchase over all competitors. There are over 3,000 Alexa skills available, and there are more coming. You can have multiple dots around your home utilising ESP so that only the nearest dot to you will activate for the same price that you would pay for a single Echo or Google Home device. Amazon are quite literally leading the way with third-party integrated controls. There are smart thermostats, Nest, Ecobee, Honeywell, to name but a few. The Echo Dot can control your lighting. Logitech have released the Harmony Elite Universal Remote Control, which means you can control just about everything. And I understand that IFTTT is coming soon. There are coffee makers and there are smart plugs, so you can effectively plug anything in. You can lock the doors to your home or close the garage door. Everything that you'd hope to find in a modern smart home is available via the Dot 2. So this is great for those of you who can actually afford to have a smart home. People like me, though, who, rather than having a smart thermostat, are just happy to have heating that works some of the time. So what benefits does the Dot have for the rest of us? Well, obviously, one of the first things you'll think of is music. The Dot 2 can play radio or connect directly to Amazon's music store. In addition to that, you can connect it to your Spotify account. One thing to note about Spotify is that it is limited to a single device at a time, unlike Amazon's music package, which allows you to play music on different devices at the same time. Unfortunately, though, as a multi-room audio system, you cannot play the Dot 2 synchronized. Now, there are pros and cons to this. As I mentioned before, your wife could be listening to her music in the kitchen whilst you're listening to your music in the office. And whilst some people believe this to be a limitation, I don't really see the issue, as it's easily overcome by connecting multiple Bluetooth speakers together, using the similar technology as Sonos, or as I use at home, the U2 Boom Bluetooth speaker. That being said, the small speaker inside the Dot 2 is perfectly adequate for speech and dinner music, but it's not inspiring enough for a true music experience. To connect the Dot 2 to a bigger, more powerful speaker, you can do this simply by using a cable or even Bluetooth. Ordering things. Yes, that's right, the Dot 2 will allow you to order things without having to even turn on your PC. You can order a taxi via Uber. You can order a takeaway from the Just Eat app. If you have an Amazon Prime account, then you can order products directly from Amazon using their Shop by Voice. Be sure to turn on your security though. I'm sure you've heard about the little girl who ordered a doll's house and cookies. The Dot 2 can inform you about news and weather updates. It can answer your questions. You can set timers, alerts, alarms, fire up that coffee. One thing to note about timers, alerts and alarms are that they only work on the device on which you set it. Now, there are pros and cons to this. For example, if you set a timer in the kitchen, something you're cooking, let's say, and then go and sit in the lounge, the Amazon Dot in the lounge will not alert you when that alarm has finished. That being said, if I set an alarm in my bedroom, I don't particularly want it going off in the lounge or in anybody else's bedroom either. So there are pros and cons to that. What would be nice is if we could make the choice as to whether it alerted all devices or just one. If you have an Amazon account, then you can set a profile. This effectively limits profiles to adults only, as legally children cannot own an Amazon account. You can verbally manage appointments to your calendar, which will be individual to you. You can add and edit items on a shopping list and a to-do list, which will be synced via multiple devices. You can also see the aggregated results in the Alexa app on your phone. Unfortunately, the Dot 2 is not capable of distinguishing between users based on their voice alone. How wonderful an addition would that be? The Amazon Dot 2 is incredibly simple to set up. It requires the Alexa app. Now, this is not available for Windows mobile devices, but you can set up using a Wi-Fi enabled PC. Voice recognition is mostly good, with some comical mistakes. It is fast to respond and delivers effectively. Occasionally, the Dot 2 can activate whilst you're watching TV or listening to the radio, despite nobody having said the keyword. So please note that without security, the device can be activated directly via the television or radio. There are thousands of apps available, or as Amazon call them, skills. Generally, though, the reviews are quite poor, but this is something that is still evolving as a technology. The variety is also good, with my favourite being the cooking options. The Dot 2 is a home-based device, but the micro USB charging cable suggests that you could possibly power this from your speaker or a battery pack. Then you could connect it to your phone's Wi-Fi and maybe, just maybe, I haven't tried this yet, so it's rather an idea than a feature, but the option is certainly there. The main competitors to the Dot 2 are Amazon's Echo, which has a bigger speaker and therefore better music quality. That one feature aside, they are almost identical. The only really serious competitor is that of Google Home. The Google Home device does support syncing music across devices. It has better speech recognition and a stronger AI. And this is quite critical for me. You can ask contextual follow-up questions without having to say, Alexa. And let's face it, Google's information banks are enormous. And it's backed by Google. That being said, there are some serious benefits over the competitors, the first being the price. This is a key advantage and makes the Dot accessible to all. You can buy 3 Dots for the price of one Echo or Google Home device, and then have multiple devices available to you. It's more compact in size, and Amazon clearly are leading the way with third-party devices. All products here are still evolving and learning as products, and that's a definite positive all round. In addition to that, the Amazon Dot 2 is backed directly by the Amazon consumer website, and all the positives that make Amazon the nation's favourite online solution. I have to say that I like the Amazon Dot 2 a lot. It does have some limitations, and I am partly basing this conclusion on the prospects that the Dot has in the future, as much as what I have seen today. It's a little bit like living in the movie Back to the Future 2, and I love that. Or, for my younger viewers, it's like Iron Man's butler Jarvis being in your home. It feels so natural and it's incredibly rewarding. The £50 price bracket and discounts for multi-buys are great for us consumers, but also a very canny marketing ploy from Amazon. With competitors like Google picking up the gauntlet, the race is on to get as many people on board with Amazon smart devices before they are tempted away. The Dot does not always understand what you say, and sometimes it cannot find the answer to a question. Reference back to Google's databanks there. The potential for the Dot 2 is excellent, and the product appears to be solid and robust, and Amazon as a company have sorted my issues out without fail on a number of occasions, so I have great faith in the Dot as a product for today and tomorrow. Perhaps the Dot 3 will have a rechargeable battery and become mobile. One thing I really like about the Dot 2, and if you're in the UK, hopefully you'll sympathise with me here, it's the inclusion of British manners and a bit of humour. Quite simply, for me, this is the beginning of tomorrow's world, and at this price, it is available to almost anyone. My name's Sim UK, thank you so much for watching, take good care of yourselves now, till next time, goodbye.